So few different problems which is better to remember for objective exams. That's what I want to discuss here. Let us say the first question. Integral a to b root of x minus a into b minus x dx is equals to pi by 8 into b minus a whole square. Not only in this case whether x minus a into b minus x is there, or 1 by root of x minus a into b minus x is there, or root of x minus a into b minus x is there. In any case, we discussed in the indefinite integrals also, better to take the substitution as x is equal to a cos square theta plus b sin square theta. Whenever we are taking x is equal to a cos square theta plus b sin square theta, then dx becomes b minus a into sin 2 theta d theta, because here 2 sin theta cos theta, whereas here 2 sin theta minus cos theta also you will get extra. That is the reason we are getting b minus a into sin 2 theta d theta dx becomes. But whenever we are taking the substitution means automatically we have to change the limits also. Accordingly, when x is equals to a, what happens? Shift to this side. A minus a cos square theta. That's why a sin square theta is equal to b sin square theta. Both sides sin square theta is there. Sin square theta cancel. Sin square theta cancel means sin square theta is becoming 0. Sin theta is equal to 0. That's why theta is equal to 0. When x is equals to b, yes, substitute here x is equals to b. Shift to this side. B minus b sin square theta. That means b cos square theta. Both sides now cos square theta cancel. Cos square theta cancel means cos square theta is becoming 0. Cos theta is equal to 0. Then theta is equals to pi by 2. That is the way how the limits are changing. Now we have x minus a is there. How x minus a is changing? X minus a changes as b minus a sin square theta, because this is x. Both sides subtract a, that simplification you will get b minus a sin square theta. Similarly, b minus x you will get b minus a into cos square theta. Just because of all these substitutions, this integral changes as a to b changes as 0 to pi by 2 into square root of, in place of x minus a we have to write b minus a into sin square theta. In place of b minus x we have to write b minus a into cos square theta, right? In place of dx we have to write b minus a into sin 2 theta d theta, right? So now what we can write here, b minus a whole square will come outside as b minus a into b minus a. Total we are getting b minus a whole square into integral 0 to pi by 2 sin theta cos theta into outside sin 2 theta d theta, right? Now what I am doing is multiply with the 2 and divide with the 2. 2 sin theta cos theta is sin 2 theta. That's why we are getting b minus a whole square divided by 2 into integral 0 to pi by 2 sin square 2 theta. Come on, as we discussed earlier, I want to remove this 2 theta. Observe here, b minus a whole square divided by 2 into, in place of 2 theta I want to write theta, then sin square theta. Then what to do? In place of 2 theta we are writing theta means limits we have to, because we are dividing with 2. When we are dividing with 2, limits we have to multiply with 2. That's why it becomes 0 to pi. Outside also extra you will get 1 by 2. That is the reason b minus a whole square divided by 4. Now we can write this one as b minus a whole square divided by 4 into, it is 0 to pi. Property 0 to 2a property satisfy. That's why we can write this one as 2 times integral 0 to pi by 2 sin square theta d theta. Now we can apply Wallis reduction formula here directly. Otherwise 2 sin square theta can be written as 1 minus cos 2 theta. Otherwise Wallis reduction formula, according to the Wallis reduction formula, it becomes 1 by 2 into pi by 2. So then you will get b minus a whole square divided by 4 into 2 into, here we will get 1 by 2 into pi by 2, that is Wallis first reduction formula. 2 cancel, we are getting the answer as pi by 8 into b minus a whole square. Similarly, we can do this simplification also. This is equals to pi, you will get. In the similar way, you can find out this one also. You will get pi by 2 into b minus a. Better to remember as a standard results for objective exams. So one of the proof I discussed, the remaining two also you can do in a similar way. Just you can see, this is also a previous question based on this particular result. The question is given in this way: limit n tends to infinity n into summation k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 integral k by n to k plus 1 by n, k by n to k plus 1 by n root of x minus k by n into k plus 1 by n minus x, that is same as root of x minus a into b minus x. Limits are from a to b. So what we can write that one as limit n tends to infinity n into summation k is equals to 0 to n minus 1. According to the earlier discussion, what we can write this one as pi by 8 into b minus a whole square. So that's what we can write it as pi by 8 into b minus a, that means k by n plus 1 by n, that is upper limit b minus a whole square. Now here k by n cancelled, so we are getting limit n tends to infinity n into summation k is equals to 0 to n minus 1 pi by 8 into 1 by n whole square. Array sigma depends on k, but he got 1 by n whole square. But 1 by n whole square, how many times you are right? Summation is running from 0 to n minus 1. 1 by n whole square plus 1 by n whole square plus 1 by n whole square, you will get n times. That's why we can write this one as, after summation removing, we can write this one as limit n tends to infinity n into pi by 8 into 1 by n whole square into n. Because after removing summation, here 1 by n whole square, that means the same term we will get n times. So that's what. Now here n and n square also cancel, we will get the answer as pi by 8. Okay, so that is the discussion of based on these three particular special models. Okay, bye bye.